Hello, how y'all doing? Can you hear me fine? You can hear me? Alright, cool. We'll give a second for people to get in because I made the announcement pretty late. Like, pretty close to going live, so. Mic seems off. I didn't check it beforehand, so that's not a good thing. Does sound muffled. Alright, hold on. Okay, better or worse? Better or worse? Better? Better? Okay. Alright, I changed a little bit, a little staticky. Hey, Jim or Sam, I don't know who's on the account right now, but hey, how's it going? How's P3R going? Uh, I just decided to not like do it on stream, and I'm just like doing it whenever I can now, and very well, Jim. Very well. Like about in July, I think. So yeah, that's a very good game. Oh boy. All right. Should we wait? People will come in as they come in. I just really want to get to the actual chapter because. Okay. All right. So I didn't read it yesterday because my sleep schedule's been out of whack, and I was like, hey, if I tried to do it now, I'll just be like completely out of it. Um, and so I didn't see anything about it except for the cool the translator the person who does like the translation for Hiwamada Noboru. uh they posted the they tweeted out like the thing, and included with the tweet was a content warning, and I don't think that they've ever included that whenever they've like put out a new like JOJOLands thing. So yeah, like a very serious content warning, which for most people that might scare them. For me, I am very excited to just I have no idea what that could mean, and with a Rocky, it could either mean something really amazing or like I don't think the first chapter had a content warning, and that went into certain directions. So I am I am very curious as to what that means. Uh, so yeah, I think we can just go into it. I am. Oh, I want to know. I've been so curious. Also, the absurd event that happened to me that year. Ominous as hell title for the chapter. Oh, all right. But maybe I should go with different music if we're getting into some dark territory. Uh, how's this? Hmm. What? I'm just going through the Pokemon Sun and Moon OST playlist to see if there's something. How's this? Sure, sure, let's go with that. Okay. Okay, this might be a bit too intense. This one? No. This one? This one? Yeah, screw it, we'll leave it at that. Okay. What will be the next value that the lava rock attracts? God, Jodio, man, get a different pose. You can't use the same thing on every single cover. I think if Rocky's drawn him in that pose at least like. All right, yeah, this is not fitting. Hold on. Oh boy. All right. Sure. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, Jodio, man, like you need you need to stop you're under arrest in every single page. Okay. 4 years earlier. While they may be unseen, stands can exist anywhere and at any time. This is the day those two first became aware of theirs. I'm guessing Jodio and Dragona? Is this Dragona? Huh. Pick up the ball. Come on, you can do it. Hey, not like that. We're playing volleyball. You gotta hit it to pass it. Ah. Sorry. Uh, uh, try that again, asshole, and I'll fucking kill you. Even in this boring ass phys ed class, we sure as hell ain't winning anything with you on our team. What are you even doing here? I wish you'd just disappear. Like, from the world. This is taken. I got a friend coming. Reserved. No chance. I got somebody else coming. Ugh. Ah. Huh? What? You again? What are you doing in my seat? Are you a stalker or something? Yeah, it is Dragona. The D on I guess it's like a polo or something. That's my ice cream I left there. I was gonna eat it and you squashed it. God, you're annoying. Look what you went and did. You even made a complete mess of the seat. Listen when I'm talking. You'd better cough up for this. I wanted to eat that. Go buy me a new one. Get going. The bus is gonna leave. And you'd better be thoughtful and get enough for everyone. Hey, you there in the back. Quiet down. What's all the ruckus? Oh, teacher. It looks like this kid dropped the ice cream he bought. Ah, I see. Remember that eating and drinking is not allowed inside the school bus. So, be so kind as to tell him that for me. What was it? Dragomi-kun just transferred here from New Jersey, so be nice to him, okay? Ooh. Alright, timeline stuff. Alright, so they were in New Jersey up until 4 years ago, I believe it said. Okay, so they haven't been living in Hawaii for a long time. You and the Knit Cat, what's that parrot or whatever? Don't you know that's not allowed in school? God, that teacher sucks. This girl's parents donate a lot of money to her school, like enough to affect the teacher's personal success and discussions about layoffs. Same goes for the bus company and the driver. Hey, just let this slide, would ya? You're the one who bought the ice cream onto the bus anyhow. So how about paying me back? How about we do it another way? Tee tee. Just make sure you bring me the money later. So, Dragona, do you have a cock? Okay, where are we going with this, Rocky? Alright, what exactly is going on down there? What about the balls? Do you have those? Uh, that feel good? Quit with the thing. Answer me. Ha 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 ha. Okay, maybe I'll just strip you and see for myself. Yeah, right here. Everybody in class is super curious about it too. Let's take let's take those undies off. Come on. If you if you turn out to have a cock, I'll suck it for you. Uh, I'm serious. I want you to show it to me. Oh, that's surprising. No bra, huh? Decided to go braless today, eh? Okay, well, somebody like you should really should have a bra. How about we draw one on you? What the fuck? Hey everybody, hold him down for a sec. I'm gonna draw on his chest. Uh, hey, cut it out. This is getting kinda intense. We all need a good laugh now and again. This is just a funny little haha joke. Some light teasing, a gag, nothing more. It'll make his skin a little red. Uh... Oh, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's painful. Oh no. Oh. How about we draw a micro bikini on you? Oh, thank you. Oh, Jodio's here. Oh, that's gotta be November Rain, right? Sure. Look at little Jodio, he looks like Sarugi. He's got the Rocky like pouting kid face. Jodio? Hmm? Who's this little kid? Is he your little brother? Hey, what are you doing? Don't stand behind me. Hey, you there. This is the elementary school bus. You're not supposed to get on here. I only came here to meet up with my big brother. We're going home together. Big brother, let's get off. What a creepy kid. Jeez, this one too? Big brother, huh? Ugh, so gross. You sure you don't mean your sisters? Through the eyelid. Jesus. Holy shit. Jodio. Has it been long? Long. Her picking on you. When did it start? Her bullying you. Huh? Bullying? No, I wouldn't call it that. It's not like that. She said she was just joking. Sorry, like the Araki has this weird thing where like sometimes he does characters like in basically like regular civilian wear in their past, and sometimes he does just like a miniature version of their current selves in the past. And like we have both of them going on at the same time. So like Dragona looks completely different, completely like normal civvy outfit, and Jodio is just a smaller version of Jodio. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, next day. Is that November rain? Oh, oh, is that oil that got lit on fire? Ugh, what? What's going on? How? Ugh, open them, someone. Please get the doors and windows open. Help. Yeah. Oh my god, Jodio. Oh my god. Jodio, you know you're supposed to be studying. Honestly. He really is a smart boy. It's so odd his grades are at the bottom of his class. By the way, it sure was lucky for us that Dragona took yesterday off. I heard there was a fire in the school bus. They said it might have been arson. Apparently a teacher about 20 students were hospitalized with major burns. Schools are awful these days. So awful these days. School bus. I I know, Jodio. You're sick. You should go to the hospital. But I slept well last night. I felt so relieved I got lots of sleep. Jodio, my little brother, thank you. I don't think I'd realized it myself, but my heart was on the verge of dying. If my soul had collapsed, then I don't think it would have ever gone back to normal. You did what you did before that could happen. I'll get stronger. I swear it. I really want to be stronger. Make sure not to tell anyone about this, okay? Not even Mama or Papa. Let's never touch on this subject again. There's no proof. It'll just be a secret between you and me forever. What's going on? This is like stitching the Smooth Operators is doing. Smooth Operators. And yours is November Rain. Back then, Dragona, was 14 years old. That event happened to me that year was irrational. The event that happened to me that year was irrational and perhaps absurd. It wasn't good nor evil. And what's more, I don't think I had any relationship with the environment I was born in, or any other sort of reason. The absurd occurs without connection to the life one has lived up to that point. In fact, without any meaning at all. Along with the little whisper of a smiling devil saying, "You're a pathetic piece of human garbage." The assault of the absurd is an important event in your life despite having no responsibility for it happening whatsoever. But there are hearts that are destroyed for the absurd. My little brother, Jodio, age 11, didn't utter a word about it, but I can't just let this go. If you can't let it go, does that mean you're just going to resign yourself to your heart being destroyed? I have something that I need to talk to the two of you about. I hope you'll forgive your mother, but your father has left our household. He was fired from the insurance company he'd worked for. Can't remember that incident a few months back where a school bus caught on fire. They haven't caught the arsonist yet, but apparently the driver at the time was sick with a high fever and the bus company forced her to drive anyhow. But also the insurance money paid out to the bus company was 10 times the usual amount. Huh? Shouldn't the bus company bear a lot of the responsibility? The daughter of the people that run the bus company was on it at the time, so that might have allowed them to be particularly forceful. But your father's insurance company agreed to pay that money. And instead of questioning why the driver had a high fever or why they were paying 10 times the standard amount, they shifted the blame onto your father, who agreed to pay it. Your father said he'd been driven into a corner and couldn't live here in Hawaii anymore. Even to begin with, my relationship with your father as husband and wife was a bit strained. But then your father left on his own. I couldn't be of any help, and I couldn't go with your father either. I'm sorry, both of you. I'll work to support us. I can't let the two of you worry. I'll give it everything I have. Up until that point, our mama, Barbara Ann, had always been a stay-at-home mom, so it was hard for her to get hired for a job with good conditions right off the bat. Having to suddenly work 2 jobs late into the night, going late into the night, all while raising 2 children took a toll on her health. Sometimes in the box in the cabinet, on the cabinet in the back of Mama's closet, a pile of reminder notices about phone bills and tax bill payments would form. Just looking at our family from the outside, it was clear that our household was becoming weaker. The neighborhood gangs picked up on that scent in short order. They slowly closed in, looking for an opportunity to strike. Hey, where you going? It's not obvious at first, but your mama's got huge-ass knockers. I can take care of her. My little brother Jodio was always thinking, why? Why? Why is it that our family is on the verge of falling apart? Why is it that things ended up this way? It's got nothing to do with you, Jodio. The source of Mama's worries, it's got nothing to do with you. I find it really interesting that I don't think Jodio has actually spoken once this chapter. It's always like Dragona relaying stuff that Jodio was thinking. I might be mistaken, but I can't remember any point. You, that goes for me, you, Papa, Mama, everyone. None of it's connected to the bus incident at all. After it happened, all I could do was vow myself, I'm going to get stronger. It was just a random absurd event. Absurd, you say. Right now he is. Can you hear me? Hey, you two over there. Over here. You're the Joestar siblings, right? The rules say that tiny little elementary schoolers need to be accompanied by an adult guardian or riding the school bus when commuting from school. You shouldn't be walking on a dangerous street like this one. Principal. Our mom is heading home. We're going to meet up with her. I know that I know that mother of yours can't even pay the school tuition. Get in the car. You two. I'll take you there. Let's talk a bit while you're in here. I have a proposition that's a win-win for the both of us. You need this, right? You don't want to keep walking on that path you're on forever, do you? And I wouldn't invite you if it didn't make me a profit. And your name is, Charming Man. When you're in this room, please turn your cell phone's power off. Okay, off, 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 off. Off, 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 off. So, Dragona, you're telling me to trust him, is that right? The reason we're all here to begin with is because we're tied together by the desire to earn money. But Charming Man is a bit different. He came here for his little brother who went missing on Hualalai. though he has the same goal as us regarding this lava rock. We want him to join us. He's a good guy. His knife handling really need to. His knife handling really needs work though. Talk to the boss, charming man. The western slope of Hualalai on the island of Hawaii. There are tunnels there called lava tubes. The lava rocks tumbled downhill through them, where they came out onto the surface. When this Japanese guy called Kishibe Rohan was out there hiking, he happened across the lava rocks, where he took a profound interest and investigated them. Rohan isn't a scientist, but he wanted to figure out what unique qualities they had through experiments and stuff. So he went so far as to buy a villa on the island of Hawaii and bought a high-priced works of art there from Japan. And he investigated how gold, silver, and diamonds would move towards the lava rocks. Neither Rohan nor I fully understand the mysteries of the lava rocks. To find the lava rocks he found, he had to search an enormous area and only found 2 of them. But one was destroyed. It's gone. There's only 1 lava rock left now, but it's a fragment. I'm certain there's larger ones higher up on the mountain, but that land is owned by a company called Howler. Entry to that area is prohibited, and it's where my little brother Malka went missing. I believe that my brother is alive. The lava rock definitely had something to do with the hole my brother fell in. If we make our way to that lava rock, then I know we'll find out what happened to my little brother. And that land, do you know anything about it? Whenever I try to investigate it, for some reason, some aspect of society gets in my way. The police, the mountain rangers, the law. Like society as a whole is going out of its way to obstruct me from searching for my brother. And now I'm even a suspect for having killed my brother. Obstruct you? What? That's absurd. Absurd. I need that lava rock. Kishibe Rohan scattered a bunch of bills onto the Hualalai land looking for other lava rocks. And bills came into contact with the lava rock. And bills that came into contact with the lava rock are sure to make their way to a lava rock once again. I'm sure we can find one. I'm very sorry to hear about what happened to your brother. But just let me confirm one thing. This bill, I just brought it close to the lava rock. But is this distance okay? Will the bill come back to me now? Is that the idea? So now, wherever I go, the bill will definitely come back to me on its own. Yes, you can be sure of that. May, it'll come back. It'll take some time, but it'll work even if it's really far away. Yeah, it always came back. Stuff that was worth a lot of money whether it was caviar, that mangaka's original drawing, or a luxury watch, they always came back. Good. We can make money with this lava rock. Or rather, it'll be a system for a flow of money. So Hualalai, the one connected to your little brother, I know the owners of that land, the infrastructure development company Howler. I think we'll help ourselves to the entire mountain with this lava rock. You know the concept of rights. We'll bring this lava rock close to those rights. We'll make their bank accounts, mountain land, company, everything ours. When you add it all up, that's probably worth over $50 billion. This time, I'll be making your total share 20%. So each of you gets 4%. $50 billion. That's one insane number. 4% each. This time, you won't be robbers. I'm just sending you to get close. What do you think, everyone? Will you do it? Or not? The new prey is rights. Okay. Okay, that was a chapter. That was a chapter. Oh my god. That was kind of intense. I don't like have a fully formed idea of like whether I liked the whole thing or not, but uh so far it was the only JoJoLands chapter that had me like actively feeling something like intense, you know? Like that's so rare. Ugh. I think I really liked it. I think that was a really good chapter. Man, alright. I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, alright. I'm curious as to what you all think so far, of this chapter. The essay scene was treated differently from the others. Oh, I like compared to like the scene in the first chapter honestly felt kind of like tasteless in comparison to this one. Uh like it kind of was tasteless. There was like I don't know what makes it different in this case. Cause I don't know, there's some level of nuance to it where I feel like in the first one it was just like, oh, to show that these cops were evil, you know. That was the whole point of the scene, and it felt like I guess it was kind of establishing Dragona, but like not in a way that I think it Dragona should have been established. But this one, it feels like much more about the specifics of like the way Dragona is like being built up as a character and the way Jodio is being built up as a character, right? I'm not sure if like what I'm saying makes any sense, but like it feels way more nuanced than the original depiction in the first chapter. Like here I clearly see that Araki is going for something. Like he has something in mind with Dragona's character that's like I don't know what it is yet entirely. I don't like fully understand it, but I know that he understands it, which like gives me a lot more confidence in Dragona as a character, which is good. I think it's because it focuses on Dragona's internal life versus being merely used to portray someone as evil. Yeah, I think that's the point I'm trying to get at. I am really like I think I don't know if the whole point is hold on. God damn it, Kate. All right. Sorry. Uh my like brain is scrambled right now. I so far I'm very interested in the direction that Dragona's character is going. Uh I find it interesting that like Dragona cuz all right, maybe I'm misreading it or something like misreading what's going on here, but it doesn't feel like Sorry, sorry, I'm having difficulty like forming any proper sentences. Uh, it doesn't feel like Dragona is like okay. Here's my question. At this point in time, 4 years prior, is Dragona the question isn't not is Dragona trans for me. Uh it's do they think Dragona is sorry, I'm having a lot of difficulty like formulating my thoughts right now. Uh does that girl like did Dragona say that this whole thing is just like confused me even more as to what to refer to Dragona as because like on some level I'm starting to think like he is a lot more appropriate, but it makes it so much stranger when we're not hearing it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Pretty sure Dragona's intersex. That's possible. I could see that being the case because like it seems less like the girl is bullying Dragona for Dragona's identity. Or like Dragona, because Dragona at this point in time is specifically. I'm just gonna go with he for the rest of the while we discuss this, just because it's gonna make it easier. Uh, Dragona, he's kind of like not portraying himself as femininely as he does like 4 years later. Uh, so like, hold on, let me get one of the pages that I'm thinking of out here. Uh, yeah, like now that someone mentioned it, yeah, this does seem most likely uh like Dragona's intersex and they're like trying to like do you have a cock? Uh that does sound like yeah, if like all they know is that Dragona's intersex, that does seem like the kind of thing that they would use. Hmm. People have pointed out that Dragona adds more flowers to their headband as they present more femme, maybe symbolizing their confidence flowering. Yeah, that's I mean, in some ways that might be the case. It also might just be like Araki gradually like pulling the slider closer to Dragona's more modern design. But yeah, that's an interesting thing to note. Uh yeah, that's why I was thinking those people were teasing Dragona for some reason, teasing them about not wearing bra or panties. So I think they were identifying femininely. Yeah, like the impression that I get was prior to this point in time, like the scene where Dragona is being harassed, uh they may have like been presenting more femininely, but then went back to presenting more masculinely when they felt they weren't being accepted or something like that. Hmm. I understood as Dragona being in the closet, but the kids picking up on their gender divergence regardless. These, like, this girl doesn't seem very, like, perceptive isn't the word for that, but like, they feel like they're latching on to something and making a big deal of it. Otherwise, Dragona would just be like shrugging it off more. Like, there's something that instigated this. Uh, and they're like mocking Dragona for it specifically. I'm a little worried about with this depiction because Dragona becomes more femme following this incident. Not inherently bad, but some readers might read that into essay makes you gay trans stereotype. Uh, I I wouldn't worry about that too much. Like, you can't not do something in writing just because people might like lean into it in that way. I don't. Nah. I think it's fine on Iraqi like for doing it this way. Uh, it might be a bit annoying like down the line, but yeah, as if this series hasn't dealt with more, you know. God, this really was like a very tough, especially since I'm reading it aloud. It's like it's like one of those moments where you're in class and everyone's like people are going by person reading sections of a book aloud and you get to really difficult to read part of one. Oh boy. Yeah, like this chapter I do think I really like this chapter. Uh because like it evoked some sort of emotion in me that is very rare for like anything to evoke like even if it's just like intense discomfort, which I think is really good. Thoughts on Howler? I think all right, Howler is interesting because it's what I kind of presumed the direction we would go in would be. Uh like we're just going to gradually ramp up and like Jodio is basically going to own more and more of the wealth in Hawaii essentially until we get to a breaking point. So like it makes sense that our next step is like going after this company that owns a large land share. It's probably the filthiest that dialogue has gotten in the series. Is it? It might be. Cause like part seven onwards kind of ramped it up and I can't think of anything this bad in this like kind of crass in JoJolian. Howler is a King Crimson reference if you don't know already. Interesting. We're getting a lot more King Crimson stuff. We got the Mataku Desai, we've got Howler. Huh. As a trans person who was undergoing transition, I was bullied for being feminine and was asked the same questions that were asked way before I started my transition. So this whole scene makes sense. Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I absolutely think it makes sense. Uh, what I'm trying to say is like I'm wondering what in particular like instigated this whole thing. Like whether Dragona was just like dressing more femininely or if it was something else or Dragona might be intersex or something like that. Yeah. I'm I'm wondering what in particular like started this whole thing. Also, if Dragona is like intersex, that lends more credence to the whole idea of like the Hawaiian third gender, like Dragona kind of being uh sort of like a priest kind of equivalent. So, I find that very interesting. I haven't even been looking at the chapter because like I kind of don't want to. Oh man, I can imagine like people are already shitting on this girl. People hate her, don't they? Uh oh man. Oh, she's gonna be the punching bag. Deservedly so, but like, yeah. Wow, people are gonna hate her. Uh Everyone's saying evil Yasuo. Oh my god, she does look like Yasuo. Ah, that's messed up actually. God, she looks so much like Yasuo actually. Damn. That's weird. Like she's got the same kind of like Yasuo expressions and everything. For part 7, it was Who Shot Johnny. For part 8, it was Who Was the Flashback Man. For part 9, it's What is Dragona's Gender. Uh, I don't think those are equivalents for the most part, but yeah. Oh my god. Like, I don't even know where to start with this chapter, to be honest, because, like, Jesus, there's so much visceral shit in it. Like, we haven't even touched on Jodio in the chapter, because, God, like, Araki just ramping up on, actually, like, showing Jodio being very unwell. Uh, I love, hold on. Let me get, I find this really interesting, though, like, kind of Dragona being sort of chummy at this point. Like I'm really curious as to what the sort of like school life or whatever or like club life or whatever this is like preceding all this was, because we have like a vague idea of it, but like such an interesting like set of interactions between the characters. Hold on, let me get I'm not the only one, right? I wasn't looking at the chat while I was reading, but like he kind of has a Jodio. I mean, he kind of has that Sarugi squish face kind of look, doesn't he? You know, like the puppy cheeks. You can very easily see how this event and karmic blowback onto his family has shaped his perception of societal mechanisms. He has this fascination with trying to make that power work in his favor. Oh yeah, like that. This whole thing definitely like shows how his whole mindset came to be formed. You know, pull up the picture of Jodio drinking gasoline. Wait, was he drinking gasoline? I don't remember that. I think he was drinking bottles. No. What? Is he? He's not drinking gasoline here, right? I don't think he is. I thought it was just a bottle of water. It's got like lines like the spilled gasoline over there looks. There's no way he was just drinking gasoline. That's insane. That's crazy. Was he just trying to hide the evidence or what? What's the deal with that? Because this looks like the implication was like this is the gasoline he used, and it has the same ridges on the bottle, but it only really makes sense that he's drinking water, but it's so strange. Yeah, I didn't think that was gasoline, but it's kind of a weird inclusion if it wasn't. He probably bought that many bottles to fill them with gas. All right, yeah, that makes a lot more sense actually. He bought drinking he bought drinking bottled waters and then used those bottles to fill them with gasoline. All right, yeah. No, you're totally right. That makes way more sense. I don't think he's drinking gasoline, but it's funnier to think he is. Just randomly starts drinking gasoline after lighting a bus on fire. What a protagonist. Also, so much shit happened this chapter, and I can't like I can't even focus on one thing. We got our first glimpse of their father, and he's just a normal insurance worker. Like, what the hell? The guy just looks like Fumi, which is kind of weird. Right? I'm not wrong in thinking he just kind of looks like Fumi, except with suspenders and and a pen in his short pocket. It's Silver Bullet. It's not Silver Bullet. It's Silver Bullet. Uh I think the significance of them referring to stuff as like being absurd is like the methodology that the rock lava rock uses to actually like bring value to it, like draw value towards it, is just random absurdities, which like we got it, like we have our thing, our new continuity device, you know, like we had Steel Ball Run, we had like Fate Karma or something like that. Basically the redirection that Love Train worked on. Then in JOJOLian we had Calamity, which was just like awful shit happening, like also kind of working on karma but not really, and it's completely like unaligned with like good or evil or bleh. It was Calamity, and now we have just absurd occurrences, basically absurdities. I'm very curious as to how like that's going to be juxtaposed with like the functionality of a proper mechanism, because for a mechanism it's a there's an input and there's an output. It's something that like converts one thing into another, right? With little like randomness essentially. There's a very clear like process occurring. But absurdity, you know, it's the opposite of that. There's no like guarantee in anything. It just happens. It's just a bizarre occurrence that isn't really predicated on anything. This is a very, very sweet little interaction between Jody and Dragona. Like they very clearly care a lot about each other. It's gonna make it it's gonna make me cry when they eventually turn on each other for some reason. Cause you know that's happening. Jody, oh, you're doomed. Oh, I really like the Jodio will go absolutely feral to protect Jijigona. Yeah, and that's like the thing, really like grounding the idea that like Jodio has no empathy. No, Jodio absolutely has empathy. Jodio like cares about Dragona to absurd lengths. Like he puts family above anything else, and I think that's gonna be the thing that eventually like keeps him in the light. But yeah, like Jodio is not well. Jodio Jodio needs help. And Dragona, like, as sweet as this is, Dragona is kind of not doing something well here. So many death flags for Dragona in this chapter, I fear. No, Dragona's not gonna die. Are you kidding? Not until the end. If Dragona dies at all, it's gonna be like in the climax of this show. The part. Dragona is gonna die and Jodio is gonna lose it. Whatever happens, like between the two of them is going to be what the entire part hinges on. Like that, Jodio and Dragona is the story of JoJoLands. Like Paco's there, I guess. Usagi's there, I guess. Charming Man's there, I guess. Meryl May's there, I guess. Like they're accessories to the story. The story of JoJoLands is about Jodio and Dragona. I find it. Hmm. Okay, so like this part where Dragona summons smooth operators for the first time. So what I believe is happening here is Dragona is taking the scarring resulting from like the metal clamps and moving it to the spoon. Which again, Smooth Operators just has this really abstract like ability to move negative space, which it's really cool. Uh but I do find it very interesting that like Jodio's initial use of November Rain was like just injuring someone basically, and Dragona's is like healing basically. That says a lot about the character, I think. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing more to say about it. I just think Smooth Operators is really cool in its ability. What else? It's very strange to me that like the first half of the chapter basically is about this, and then the second half is about something completely different. Like the first half felt much longer. Also, yeah, like you can see Dragona gradually at this point beginning to adopt their more modern design sensibilities, which is interesting. Like it's a kind of slow and gradual turn. I'm very curious at this point to like see more exploration of Dragona because already from the beginning, Dragona was like probably my favorite character, just conceptually. But I was really worried about how Araki was going to handle it, and honestly, I've been really impressed since then. Like mostly because of this chapter. Uh, but like it feels a lot more tactful at this point, you know? Like Araki clearly gives a shit. I'm curious about like what's going on with their father, because their father seems normal, but like too normal, you know? Like he's an insurance company contractor. I mean, Jotaro's dad was a jazz musician. I mean, true, but like he never appeared, and there wasn't a big question mark as to, you know, what his deal was. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing more to it, but like there's some oddity with that side of the family as to like what's going on there. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. If it never gets addressed between now and the end of the story, I probably wouldn't mind. But you know, sounds like some Brando shit. Insurance companies, yeah, Brando shit. True. Uh, uh, I know it's like a big emotional thing. Like, oh, she doesn't really know that like what's going on here, and the fact that it was kind of Jojo's whole fault. But this just seems a bit funny to me. Just on its own. They haven't caught the arsonist yet. Who could have done it? And Jody is just standing right there with like a blank look on his face. Uh, yeah, the whole situation was with the dad is like it feels fairly mundane, which I honestly is interesting on its own. Like the whole reason that the dad left was just because not being able to deal with like was he fired? Was he laid off? Hold on. Yeah, he was fired from the insurance company. Man, this panel with Jodio. I'm sorry, he looks so stumpy. Like look at him. Uh you know he thinks he looks cool too. Yeah, I'm getting like big Haruno Shiobana vibes from Jodio in this whole part, like this whole chapter. He just has like very similar vibes to younger Giorno, which makes sense. But he is in the Sans pose. He's even got Sans proportions. That's great. All right, what else? Also, I don't know if it's just like the way Araki draws characters like like Meryl May or but like Meryl May has got some serious like funny Valentine sort of looks going on. Like a lot of the I don't know if it's like her facial structure or something like that, but a lot of it just like feels very funny Valentine. I'm not saying there's a connection there, I just find it interesting. Like the characters just have very similar vibes. You mean Scarlet Valentine? No, I specifically mean Funny Valentine. Like just something about their expressions, like the way she just looks. Hold on, maybe there's a better example somewhere here. Like this panel in particular. This panel looks very Funny Valentine, especially early Funny Valentine. This, right? I'm not alone in thinking that, right? Like there's it, it's the chubbier face contrasted against the more defined features. Yeah, I think that's the main thing doing it. But like certain expressions that she has just look way more like Funny Valentine than others. I was saying that like I think from this point on we're gonna be like going to different mountains within Hawaii, and those are gonna be like our main arcs essentially. Uh which you know if we're going back to Hualalai, that doesn't really follow through, but maybe it does. I don't know. But like this is interesting. I don't think we're probably going to go directly back to the main island of Hawaii again for like this actual howler quote unquote heist because that's like what we're doing now, right? Like that seems to be the impression that's the impression I'm getting. Like we're specifically bringing the characters to wherever the deed or whatever is for the howler estate or whatever you want to call it, like the land that they own, and they're basically just going to try to put the lava rock up to the deed or whatever, and through some kind of logic it'll eventually be come into their ownership, which I find to be very like it's interesting how that would even work. Like how would that obviously like through absurd coincidences, but I don't know. Also, like there's just something funny about this one panel where Jodio's just like he gets a hold on. he gets a little twitch, and he's like, "What? What did she say? Absurd? I I heard of an absurd thing once. Something absurd happened to me. That that year, that time 4 years ago. Something absurd. Oh no. I've experienced absurd things before. Oh, absurdity. Oh, absurd. Bizarre. Uh, I'm really liking JoJoLands so far. Like, this is really good. This is some good stuff. And yeah. Also, another just like random, like Rohan needs to be mentioned every single chapter, right? He's never not mentioned. We've always got to get our good month for Rohan fans in. It's essential, or Rocky just cannot leave him out. I think there's only been one chapter that hasn't mentioned Rohan since chapter 2, which is very funny. Like Araki just cannot help himself. I wonder what exactly causes those barriers Charming Man was talking about. How society seemed to stop him from entering the area. Like, is it because of a stand or the properties of the land itself? I think that it is related to the lava rock in some way. Like, absurdity in order to protect something. Like it, the way that like absurdities were being used to draw wealth towards the lava rock, uh the same kind of idea seems to be applying to like keep stuff away, to like defend stuff, you know? You've probably seen the post, but in page 28, if you see Jodio's symbol on his chest and Dragona's belt, they have the exact same Joe symbol Jolene on her early belt, and both make JoJo. I noticed the Joe on both of their clothing, but I didn't put together that it was. Is it similar to Joel? Hold on, I need to look that up. I didn't think it was the same like design that Jolene has. That's very interesting if it is. But obviously, like the two putting together to make JoJo, like that's kind of what we were thinking with before like the part even was showcased in any form, with like the idea of like twin Joe stars. One Joe, one makes Joe and the other makes Joe. One being like Jorno and the other being Jolene. Hold on. Jolene. I've never. Hold on. Oh, I think it does look like Jolene's. Hold on. I need to get a. Well, this isn't exactly what you were talking about, but she's got the JoJo boots going on here. I'll just throw that up right next to Tsurugi Jodio. Hold on. Let's see if we can find it anywhere. Yeah, it's the same Joe design. Interesting. Very interesting. Hold on. Let me get an up close and I'll put it. Yeah, from chapter 1 of Stone Ocean on Jolene's pants. There you go. That's same Joe design. I'll just put it on top of stuff at this point. It's getting too crowded. Yeah, Jodio has it on his chest, and Dragona has it on their belt in the same exact place Jolene has it. That's very interesting. Yeah, since the introduction of Dragona, I've been like, yeah, that's Dragona is in some way going to be our new continuity equivalent to Jolene. Like, cause it would be a missed opportunity if that didn't happen. First of all, and second of all, it just seems kind of obvious, you know, if you're gonna have sibling Joe stars like in the new continuity, why would you not do that? It just wouldn't make sense, you know? Why did Barbara Ann name her son, who she couldn't have known to be trans or feminine or whatever, Dragona? I don't know. Why would you name your son Charming Man? Because it's JoJo. Like, come on, Dragona isn't even the strangest name we've got in this part. First name Charming, last name Man. Come on. Uh, why would you name your daughter Hot? Okay, to be fair, that's actually an alias. Like, Hot Pants' real name is not Hot Pants. But LA Boom Boom's real name is LA Boom Boom. Anyway, is there anything else you all want me to touch on? Like, to hear my thoughts? Because I've gone through the chapter a second time already. If they're going back to Hualalai, the statement Jodio makes in the first chapter could still hold true. The whole not being enough thing could be referring to the overarching plot. Uh, yeah, I guess I'm not like holding my breath. I'll just see what that ends up being. Because so far doesn't mean anything. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. Yeah, yeah. Jodio's name is explicit in Spanish. When someone called Dragona Dragomi in this chapter, that was a nickname, right? Uh, I assume that that's just like a Japanese translation thing that is difficult to even like know how to put into English. Because Dragomi, that's hold on. Where was it? Yeah, Drago, what was it? Dragomi-kun just transferred here from New Jersey. Be nice to him, okay? Actually, I think it's just the teacher or whatever, just misremembering the name Dragona as if you ever could. No one's going to misremember the name Dragona. I like how Charming Man is so ridiculous as a name that it's overshadowing Jodio. We can't keep harping on the name Jodio forever. We got a year of that. It's just normal at this point. Yeah, it's just the teacher misremembering the Dragona's name. I know it says translator note Gomi equals trash, but like it doesn't seem intentional on the teacher's part. It just seems like what was it, trash trash guy or John Trash? I don't know. Like how are you gonna translate that? I'm gonna guess Usagi is the heir to the Howler fortune, but doesn't particularly care. But he might be forced to betray the crew at some point, even though he doesn't want to. I mean, just because they're both related to King Crimson, I don't necessarily think that means anything. Cause like you can have like Gyro in Steel Ball Run, Ball Breaker is ACDC, and then Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap is also ACDC, but besides being like protag or deuteragonist and villain, there's not really any connection between the two characters. Then you've also got like other stuff. I'm sure there's one or two in JoJolian. I can't think of right now, but I know they exist. Oh yeah, like there's no real connection between Sarugi and Joshu stands besides them being both in the Higashikata family, but like not all the Higashikatas are doing the same thing, but they both have Nat King Cole references, so you know. It's just like Araki was listening to his King Crimson DVD or something like that, CD, and was thinking about it a lot because obviously we're getting King Crimson back in some way, possibly, most likely, you know. But yeah, it's just more stuff he's probably listening to at some point. Dragona will be localized as Dragon D's. Oh boy. There's a note explaining Gomina and all of the translations. I mean, I think there's only one translation up right now, and it's the Hiwamata Noboru one. We haven't had multiple translations in like 4 chapters. So if you're reading it in English, you're reading the Hiwamata Noboru one. Lol, are we still holding out hope for King Crimson comeback? Yes. It's not really holding out hope, it just makes sense at this point. Like we don't know how King Crimson's gonna come back, but like we've got the world, we've got Killer Queen. Like it doesn't really make sense for King Crimson not to come back at some point. Oh, who knows? Araki is fickle. Maybe he hates King Crimson. What about Mitsuba's child? We can't keep talking about Mitsuba's child. We can't talk about that every month. We have like 9 more years of serialization. We can't keep doing that. Uh yeah. I think we're at the point where we're starting to repeat stuff. So uh closing thoughts. Yeah, this is a really interesting chapter. This is probably my favorite JoJoLands chapter so far. Like second favorite being the first chapter. This was really good. Is that a fandom thing? I just thought of it. It's not so much a fandom thing as it is just like a this stream thing. We tend to like talk about that at least once or twice a month. But yeah, good chapter. Really enjoyed it. I hope 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 the burn wounds on the shit girl were bad. All right, that's awful, but all right. All right. Thank you for coming as always. Sorry if I'm a bit like out of it, but it had to do this at some point. Uh, Next month, same time, same place. Thank you. Uh, yeah. See ya.